Full house today.
Nice to see you. How are you? Are you going to stay there with us?
Yeah, I'll stay if you want.
Mayor, going to kick us
And the
off?
mayor, the senator. Any other? Okay.
Mayor, can I just start off by making a small presentation here? I'm really proud of the fact the City of Austin has achieved the distinction of being the most small business friendly city in the country, and the great program that you all have developed, the Small Business Development Program under your leadership. And I just want to give you this small memento recognizing that great distinction and saying congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're of course honored to have this award, and we have paid so much attention to small business, made it such a high priority that we feel like it's an important addition to the other awards. A couple of weeks ago we were #1 best city in the country by Portfolio.com, and we were also recently given an award by the U.S. Conference of Mayors, but this is the best one of all. So we're honored to have it.
Thanks, Mayor. Well, may I just say a couple of words, and then we'd be glad to answer any questions. Thanks, of course, to our host here. Outstanding restaurant. I've eaten that, and I recommend that you do so as well. And but obviously, the subject #1 in Washington, in Austin, and all across the country is jobs, jobs, and jobs. And while we are extremely fortunate in Texas that our unemployment rate is lower than the national rate, and here in Austin it's even lower than it is across the state of Texas, for every person that's out of work that wants to work, that represents a tragic story, and we need to do everything in our power to try to make it easier for people to get jobs and to provide for their families. Now, we've learned the challenges that small businesses have. There's some things that, for example, the City of Austin does to help educate, to help facilitate small businesses, entrepreneurs to create those jobs. But we also and we discussed some of the obstacles that government can place in the way, the federal government and state government, that make it harder for entrepreneurs, the job creators, to create those jobs. One of the topics that we heard about today was health care. That remains a challenge, and I believe that everyone, regardless of their ideology or party stripes, believes that health care reform remains an important topic. The question of how we do it is the toughest part of that, and that remains an important part of our job creation program. But I think the private sector, and particularly small businesses, are the primary engine for job creation here in Austin. I was really kind of amazed to hear the statistics that you cited, Mayor, about how so many small businesses of 10 employees or less, what percentage of the job market that constitutes here in a city like Austin. And I'm sure that something similar to that is true across the state and country as well. So we need to be focused on what are the policies that make it easier for the job creators to create jobs, and what are the job killing policies that make it harder for job creators to create jobs, and try to come up with a solution that helps deal with that unacceptably high unemployment rate. So jobs is the first on our priority list. Jobs is our second on our priority list. Jobs is the third item on our national priority list. And I appreciate what I've learned from these entrepreneurs and job creators here in Austin. And again, congratulate the mayor and his team for the outstanding work they've done to help these entrepreneurs create those jobs for the people of Austin. We'd be glad to answer some questions if you have them.
Any specific things that you think you'd like to take back with, in terms of possible policies?
Well, as I mentioned, health care remains an unresolved issue. The president has called a summit and invited folks across the aisle to come talk about solutions. I personally believe that we need to start over, that one of the problems with the bills that came out of the House and Senate is so much it was negotiated in secret, and so many special deals were made in order to get votes by members of the Senate and House, that people are just very highly skeptical of that product. So I think we need to start over. But there's some things that I think a lot of things we could agree on that would help bring down the costs. That has to be our #1 job. We need a safety net and we have that for Medicaid, CHIPS, the Children's Health Insurance Program, and the like. But what we need to do for the small businesses that want to be able to provide benefits is make it more affordable. And I believe there's a number of things we can do to do that.
Was there anything that shocked or surprised you listening to the small business owners today?
Well, I guess what amazes me is their courage. There's certainly no guarantee when you open up a small business that you're going to be successful. But people do it day in and day out and create jobs and opportunities for a lot of people. So I think part of what we need to do is to continue to encourage, not discourage, the entrepreneurs, the risk takers, which means they need to have access to loans and capital. They need to have an educated workforce. They need to have the opportunities to take advantage of their entrepreneurial instincts in creating jobs. Anything we do that would make their job harder, I think we need to try to remove that obstacle and that impediment. So that, I think, is the challenge.
One of the main frustrations for business owners, and I've spoken to a lot of them, is that they cannot get loans. And
Right.
they are upset because they believe that the government, federal government that is, went and go ahead and bailed them out, and they still cannot get money. What is Washington doing to prevent that from happening?
Well, that remains a very big frustration, is the bailing out Wall Street while Main Street is still hurting and not feeling the benefits of these various programs. And this is a work, I must say, still in progress. The challenge you have is that regulators that are trying to impose additional regulation on lenders so they don't get involved in risky conduct and bring down our financial system. How do you do the kind of regulation we need to do, and at the same time free up that capital, those loans for businesses, small and large alike, to be able to borrow the money they need in order to grow their business. So we haven't gotten that right yet. We're still working on that. Financial regulatory reform is also one of the near the top of our list of things we need to do, and something we'll continue to work on in Washington, hopefully that will free up the credit, the loans that small businesses need in order to start and grow their business.